Hi, welcome to RCKicks. On today's show, I'm dribbling on myself. Hi, welcome to RCKicks. On today's show, well, finally, sorry, I'm helping my laugh. I'm laughing to myself because I almost choked to death. I've got a cold and it's been a bit of a pain. Hi, welcome to RCKicks. On today's show, well, finally, what feels like it's taken ages and tons of bits and pieces required, I have a fully functioning modern race buggy. This is obviously the team associated RC10B 6.4. Now, I've done a full build video on the show for this one. I'll put a link up here. Go check it out if you haven't already. So we're taking it racing today. Finally, got all the electronics in it, all the bits and pieces. I am still missing one or two parts. I don't have a transponder, but Vinny is going to lend me one. So that's going to make my life a bit easier as I'm running in two classes today. Why am I running in two classes, I hear you cry? Well, I fitted exactly the same electronics in the new racing buggy as I had in the Cougar. Yep, same receiver, FlySky receiver, same batteries, same motor, ESC combo, same wheels and tyres, well, almost the same wheels and tyres. Cut staggers on the fronts of both, but there's slightly different versions of them. Rears are exactly the same compound and everything. The only thing that's not the same is the servo. I have a Reef low profile servo in the Cougar and I haven't purchased it yet. I'm a big fan of it and I will run it in the modern buggy as well. It's just from a budget point of view, it has to wait until next month. Also the transponder, again, they are a little bit expensive. So when you put the servo and the transponder together, that's another 130 odd quid sprinkled into what is quite an expensive build. Now, I have tweaked the car a little bit. I actually got a setup sheet from Team Associated from a paid driver, and I've basically mapped out exactly the same setup as them. Now, a few of you commented, oh, you should never do that. You know, the pro drivers drive very differently. Yeah, but don't forget, I don't have the skill set to be able to set up a car to my style, as I don't even have a style. I just wing it when I drive. So I actually took all the settings from someone who had obviously driven on a track that's very similar to the track that I drive on.
Gav's leading them round, so it's the two Cougars out the front. The two-wheel drives that are leading the four-wheel drives. It is Gav from Al.
Don't take a setup sheet from someone who goes and drives on an outdoor grass track and then use that and put it on your buggy and then go to an indoor carpet track. I found a setup sheet for a high traction medium size carpet indoor track, which is pretty much what we run on. I did try to find one that was on a smaller side, but I found a medium that was the best I could, so there is some little compromises there. So new springs, front and rear, new actual pistons, different sizes. The weight of the oil I've also changed as well, and then I've set up the car pretty much to the same camber, toe in and things like that. The only thing I'm still not kind of sold on is the peels for the camber and the anti-squat and everything on the rear. Now, there is a lot more that we're going to do with this buggy, as this is obviously the first outing and I'm pretty sure it's going to take a while to really start to dial it in for the track that I race on. Also, I've got some lovely more upgrade parts that a lot of you have recommended. The alloy steering was one of them, the alloy cup that goes onto the diff to stop it leaking. Now, when I built it, a lot of people commented that it does leak, so I actually soaked the gasket in oil before I fitted it, so it'll be interesting to see whether that fixes this known issue. Just putting it in dry isn't enough, or whether they just leak on their own and then you need the alloy diff housing cover, which I now have, as well as I've got a few other bits and pieces to put on. I did put the front bulkhead, alloy bulkhead, as quite a few people said it did change quite a lot, so I fitted that. I'm desperately trying to want to fit all these upgrades, but I don't really want to because they should come in a future video. If I slap all the upgrades on it now, we won't see as much of a progress, so I'm fighting myself from adding more and more upgrades, and some of them are beautiful. Also, we have a lot of ball joints on the turnbuckles, so I'm not a big fan of those. I'm getting more and more into the old fixed ones that Schumacher did, so we'll see how we go. The Cougar is terrible for popping ball joints, and I've pretty much changed almost all of them. I still have a few updates to do on the Cougar. We'll come on to that in a minute. So we'll see how we go with this one. If I find that I'm popping ball joints on the actual B6.4, I will start changing them down the road as well, because there's nothing worse than just clipping something, it pops off, and then it takes the Marshall, 3 laps to put it back on again.
And that's caught second place out, but second place cut half the track, and now it looks like he's having mechanical. He's ground to us. There goes the race leader, up and over there.
And your race is totally ruined when, if you just go to fixed ball joints, they don't pop off. Right, I think that pretty much covers everything, so we better shut up, go racing, and see how we get on. I'm really interested to see the difference between the two. Now, I'm running the same transmitter receiver and everything, like I said, so the same talent, so it'll be really interesting. So let's go and find out how much faster are the new modern buggies versus the vintage ones. Yeah, we are, haven't we? Oh. Right, let's kick off qualifying round 1, and I'm car 1, so I'm away first. So, got to keep it nice and steady, don't go too crazy. This jump is really quite large for vintage. I make a mistake straight away, but luckily so did everybody else, so I'm still in the lead. Now, I'm not pushing crazy hard, I've got a decent lead now, so I'm just pacing myself, keeping it clean. But this jump here, not easy. I undercook it a little bit because I'm trying to make sure that I don't overdo it. Because vintage buggies with that kind of length of jump, not the best. And you don't want to roll over as you'll lose all your lead. So now I've got a lovely lead. Everyone is struggling trying to get across this jump. So I'm actually coming up to try and lap someone already. And we're only in lap 2. Lap 1 wasn't that great at 18.74, but lap 2, 17.34, and we're now going through again, 17.48. So happy with that in the 17s. Will we catch this person in the yellow and orange car? Then I'll make a mistake. Yes, what a stupid thing to do. I think I was actually looking at the other car at the time. So it's going to be a slow one, 17.71, not that great. But everyone's kind of spread out, so it's not that bad. The car's behaving itself as you would expect. It's kind of a little bit on the rear. I've got it nice and sharp, it turns lovely, but the back needs a little bit more work. So we're coming up to kind of get around some of the back markers. Someone makes a mistake, so do I, and yeah, kind of little bit of bending the rules there, but I was miles ahead anyway, so never mind, we'll move on. So I've jumped a few back markers now, and you can see everyone is having a problem with that jump. Mine's not so bad. As long as I get the power about right, it will actually jump across quite smoothly. So that was lap 7 at 16.48. Loads of space, no one's hassling me. I'm just plodding along, running my own race, trying to keep it as neat and clean as possible. Well overdid it there. You barely need to steer on that straight. You can actually go pretty much straight through it without veering. We're going to skip ahead now as there's nothing really exciting going on, just constantly putting in the laps. But as you can see, my times are reasonable, dropping into the 16s now. We're on lap 16 at 16.55. Then I did a 16.42, lap 17. So it's all under control, no big issues whatsoever. So it's going to be a reasonably easy win. Best lap time of the first run was the last one at 15.49. Can't be disappointed with that, so there we go. So that was qualifying 1 for the Vintage, and they ran the other way for a change. Usually the Vintage is the last qualifying, and then it goes round and then you get all the Buggies. But for some reason it's the other way around. So we were doing the Vintage first, which is what you've just seen. Now, all in all, that was pretty good qualifying, coming first. No real issues at all. It was all kind of very manageable. There was no big crashes or issues. Now, the best was 1549 and the average was 1690. The best 10 is 1626. So these are times to remember because we're going to be putting them directly against the new racing buggy. So for the first time ever, let's take the RC10 B6.4 for a qualifying run. I have no idea how this is going to go.
What a tricky track.
It is. It's not the most flowing, nice.
Yeah, very challenging.
Oh, sorry.
So we got team orders for Rochester.
Yeah. I'll block. Yeah. Right, here we go, kicking off. I'm very nervous, never driven the car before, so I have no idea how well or how bad this is going to go. I'm car number 5, so we're off, and super nervous. Now, there's cars around me at the moment. I'm not sure how things are going to go. Actually, turned in rather well, seems to fly through the air reasonably, a lot sharper than the Cougar. So we come round to our first lap, and that's a 1496, I think it is. Now, I'm just trying to keep it cool and not expecting too much, but it's turning out to be a bit of a pleasure to drive. So I'm currently sitting in 3rd place. The 2 cars in front of me are the neon yellow cars. There's a total neon yellow, and then the one in 2nd place has a green nose. So I'm not that far off. Now, can I chase them down? Let's see how it goes. So I seem to be slowly gaining. Then I make a little bit of a mistake, which drops me back a little bit. But she's jumping really well. Now, position 2 makes a bit of a mistake, and then he cuts the corner. But I've managed to catch him up a little bit. I'm being caught from behind in position 4. But I'm keeping my cool. I make a little mistake. Whoops. And then, yeah, that puts me back a little bit as well.
Sorry.
But I am still now in 4th place, I think. Then 4th place, Vinny drops out for some reason, so I'm back in 3rd. Just trying to get used to the buggy and how it turns. It drives so differently to the previous one. But I'm in some open space now, so I'm just plodding along. I can still see position 2 just out in front of me. Make another mistake on that corner. I struggled on that corner quite a bit with this car. That was the only corner that I really had to ease off the power quite a lot. So everyone's kind of settled down into their pace, and I'm really enjoying myself. You see, making another mistake there. We're going to skip forward a little bit more. Now I've managed to claw back a little bit. Position 1, 2 and 3 are right in front of me. Or was it position 1 and 2? I think just position 1 and 2. There's a lot of scrappiness going on here, and then there's a bit of a mistake, and I'm still sitting in 3rd. Then I pass 3rd as he flips over, hitting a back marker. So I suddenly find myself in 2nd place, but no chance really of getting to 1st. Little bit of an issue with the back marker there, and position 1 rolls over, and suddenly I find myself in 1st place. Yeah, believe it or not, first run out, I'm actually qualifying fastest in 1st position. We skip forward a little bit and I'm still in 1st, but I'm being pressured from behind. And then he makes a bit of a mistake, which gives me a little bit of breathing space. By this point, I am a nervous wreck. And then we go through and we finish. And believe it or not, I actually 1st. Can you believe it?
I think I ran out of battery.
So I can't ask for more than that, really. That was amazing. It was really good. Never driven it before. I've driven it up and down in the rain just to true up the steering, but to actually qualify fastest is blows my mind. Now, from a times point of view versus the Cougar, so I did it in best was 14:24, best 10 was 14:65 versus 16:26 from the Cougar. The best time I got for the Cougar was 15:49. So 15:49 for the Cougar and 14:24 for this. So don't forget, I've been racing the Cougar for quite a while now, and I've dialed it into the track and the track surface, so it is faster. The average was 15:47 versus 16:90 on the Cougar. So across the board, it is just faster. Don't forget, we're running the same electronics, so the same power and pretty much everything else. So yes, the chassis is just way faster, but kind of obvious really. Right, let's move on and see how we get on qualifying 2 for the vintage race.
It stays the same till the final, doesn't it?
Yeah. Is it? Oh, I don't know. Just go whenever you want. It doesn't make any difference.
Anyway. In like the top end.
Yeah. No, not for this.
My hands are really sweaty.
I'm melting.
Oh no. 4, 2, 5. Right, see how we do this side. Have we got another heat after this and then a final?
Yeah.
3 heats.
3 and then 1.
So this is the vintage Heat 2. So I'm car 1, so I'm pulling away first. Now I've got to get away nice and clean. I don't need everyone else piling into the back of me, as I'll suddenly be at the back. Then a few people will make a few little mistakes, but I get to pull away cleanly across the jump. A few people struggling there, but I make a mistake, but I don't lose first place, and I'm desperately trying to scamper away. But after driving the other car, I'm finding this one really difficult, as it's so different. I get overtaken by a simple mistake, but then the car's driving strangely. Turns out, yes, the ball cups have come off, both of them. Yeah, so as you can see, people are going past. Then luckily the marshal's like, get back on the thingy, I'll fix your ball cups for you. The car's not actually broken. So he's rushing to do it, but obviously when this happens, sometimes it can take forever to get the ball cups back on, but he gets it done reasonably quickly. I think it only cost me the best part of 20 something seconds. So now I'm in 5th. Right at the back, and now I've got to do is keep it clean, put my foot down and try and squeeze back. Someone makes a mistake and I'm in 4th, so now I don't think I'm ever going to get to 1st, but I need to keep it clean. Now we're only in lap 2, lap 3 there at 17:60 I think it is, so not bad. So just keep it going. 4th place, got to hunt down 3rd. 3rd's in front of me there in the green. Now the problem is if you start driving too fast, you overdrive and then you cause more problems and you end up going slower. Now one of the advantages I've got is the car seems to jump well. So we've skipped ahead now and we're on lap 6 and I've just passed 4th place and now I'm in 3rd. So I'm desperately trying to hunt down Phil in 2nd place with his BBX. Now he's quite far out in front. We skip forward again. We're now on lap 9. He's about half a lap ahead of me and I've got to hunt him down. There he is on the other side. Now can I actually get back to 2nd place after such a horrendous start? So he makes a mistake and I move past. So believe it or not, suddenly I find myself in 2nd place. We skip forward again to lap 17 as I'm still hunting down 2nd place, but we kind of end and I actually ended up finishing in 2nd, which is unbelievable. Yeah, so it didn't really go to plan. The curse of the ball joints. Yeah, I've removed almost all my ball joints, but I've still got 4 left, and the 2 front ones that are a bit tricky to get rid of let me down. I hit one side and popped one, and then I tried to carry on a little bit and I popped the other side and it all fell apart. So I lost about 24 seconds. It did feel like a lot longer than that, but when I went back and I watched the videos, that's how long I lost. So it dropped me all the way back into 5th. So it worked out I had 15 laps to go before the end of the qualifying session, and I needed to get 1.66 seconds back per lap every lap to get back into first place. Yeah, that's not going to happen. But how far I could actually get was second. I'm not sure if I was almost a lap down from first, but to scrape all the way back into second place, hey, I will take that. But I must get rid of these ball joints. They drive me crazy and they cost me so much. Once they pop off, that's your race pretty much done. Right, let's see how we get on qualifying 2. Right, we kick off the B64. This is round 2. Right, so I get away first and yeah, keeping it clean. Second and third right on my heels. I can feel the pressure, but I want to keep it clean. I'm quite confident after the first round, so the car's driving really well, but I'm being leaned on all the time. Makes a little bit of a mistake there, but he's still right on me. Then he makes a big mistake, hits the corner, drops back to third. I'm still in first, gives me a bit of breathing space. Still about 1 or 2 turns between the first and second, but I'm feeling the pressure now, that's for sure. I've just got to keep it clean. And then suddenly the car come out of nowhere, distracts me a little bit, but I didn't actually hit anything. He leans on me, I let him through because he just feels like he's going so much further. Then I kind of crash into him again. Now he's out in first and I'm second. Now this is a much more comfortable position to be in, following someone else instead of you being followed. Now he's pulled a little bit of a gap on me, but there's not much pressure coming from behind. Little mistake there. And I'm just happy to sit here in second place. Then he makes a mistake and I'm back through again. See, sometimes it's not about going that fast, it's just being clean. So now I've got a little bit of breathing room again and I'm back in first. I'm super chuffed. So I've just got to keep the pace down, but I made a mistake. We skipped forward a little bit and then I end up finishing in pole position yet again. Now it doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, I'll take that.
So that was qualifying round 2 for the RB 6.4 and it was good news. All times were up, finishing position 1 for qualifying 2. I can't ask for more. That's qualifying 1 and qualifying 2. I am the fastest. Now the times versus the round 1, everything was up. So we've got the best was 13.95, up from 14.24. The best 10 was 14.25, up from 14.65, and the average was 14.90, up from 15.47. So again, faster and more consistent. So it's all looking brilliant. So now we're going to skip on to the vintage final.
So scary ones.
Is it a reverse grip?
So now we have the vintage final. So we've all lined up, but I wasn't paying enough attention and everyone went for it and I was delayed. So I suddenly dropped straight back into second. But you just got to keep it cool and keep going. I'm sitting in second. Now wait for the pressure to build. So he makes a mistake, makes a little bit of a mistake and I'm through. Yes, I'm in first place. And we've got a long way to go, but I just need to keep him back. Then he does a front somersault and lands on me. And now I pull away a little bit. So I've got a little bit of space. I can calm down just a little bit. Then second makes a mistake and I've got a nice bit of space now. So the pressure relaxes a little bit. I've got 2 corners on second place and I've just got to settle down. Just plod along now. Ease off the power a little bit just to keep it clean. With that kind of lead, as long as I don't make a mistake, I'll be fine. This is the corner that I struggled with a little bit, but you can see it jumps rather nicely. Now you don't want to put too much power on as you go too far and then you come crashing down. Then Phil, I think it is, yeah, Phil chasing me. I've lapped him, but he's chasing behind me. This footage was excellent, I really liked it, it's really cool. The BBX goes brilliantly, he had a great time with it. And he actually jumped quite nicely, yeah, and then I made another mistake, then he crashed into me. But I'm a lap up, so it's fine. We're just having a blast, lots of space. As you can see, I'm still 2 corners ahead. We skip forward a little bit to 17. I'm making a little bit of a mistake. That was a bit of a slow one at 20, but I'm well out in front, so it's fine. And yes, it looks like I'm going to take first position in the final for the vintage.
Pressure.
So not a bad run all in all, and lots of open air space, so there wasn't lots of pressure, so I was really happy with that one. All in all, the vintage run for the evening went brilliantly. I was really happy with it.
That was the fastest lap, that one.
Oh my gosh. Yay! I'll take it. Nice one. It drives better than you think though. I thought you'd get crucified, but it actually goes for it.
Yeah, that's why you were chasing me. Like you're behind me.
Yeah.
He was,
oh yeah, no.
she caught me up.
Yeah, you're not miles off.
No. It looks lovely though. It looks good going around, but when it kicks a wheel up.
Yeah. That was good. So yes, taking the win for the vintage, super chuffed with that. Wasn't that much drama or anything. I managed to pull a nice lead and we just kind of sat through it and just churned out reasonable times with no massive dramas. So 22 laps, averaging 16.65. Best was 14.81 and my best was my best 10 was 15.13. So time-wise, I'm really happy with it. So can we win the B final on my first outing of the team associated RC10 B6.4? Possible. Fingers crossed. Let's see how we got on. Right, here we go. This is the one I'm really excited about. We're off. And where am I? I think I'm in second place at the moment, which isn't too bad. Got away reasonably clean. Pressure is on, that's for sure. Everyone's scrambling to drive as fast as we can. Now, can I actually take a win in the B final on my first outing? We've just got to try and keep it clean and try and keep the power down, put some more pressure on the pole sitter in front of me in the green and yellow car. Third position is a little bit back, so it gives me a chance to relax a little bit, keeping it clean. I'm closing on him. And I've actually passed him, and yes, he makes a mistake, and I am now in pole position. Yes, I am in the lead by about 2 corners. Now the pressure's building, trying to scamper away, but keep it clean through that last bit there. I can get the power in, starting to settle into this car, really enjoying the way it turns. It feels very stable, it's very predictable, it doesn't do anything strange, and then yes, I absolutely nail a Marshall. Yeah, I'm in first place. He comes across. The time I realise I'm already in the air. Luckily, I didn't hurt him by the looks of it, and that could have been a lot worse. And there goes first place, clears through. Now the Marshal grabs my car. Instead of putting me on this one, he puts me on the jump. So I'm now a good 2 corners behind, back in second place. So yes, all I can do is just try and concentrate and relax a little bit. Now hopefully I can start reeling him in a little bit, but he is fast. So he's 2 corners ahead of me and third is about 2 corners behind. Now I've got to keep it clean and hopefully I can catch him up, and he makes a mistake, so I go into first place. Now we're going to skip ahead a little bit and I'm still in first place, being hunted down from second. So we're now on lap 19 and I'm looking like I could be in for the win, and then everything goes out the window. I'm first place, there's second behind me, and suddenly the car starts to go slow. Yeah, I'm starting to get in an intermittent fault. There you go, it's slowing down, and yeah, now I tried to get across this jump and I can't even get across the jump. I'm still in first, but I'm really slow. The car is like got throttling back and it totally packs up. Oh, and there's back again. Can I stay in first place? We need like 2 more laps. Come on, car, keep working. I get across there. He's right on me for first place. He's right behind me. We've got a back marker. He makes a mistake. I make a mistake, but I'm still out in front. There's a back marker. Then we turn the next corner and the car dies. Totally dies on me. Look, there goes first. Then the car comes back and I have to power again. But I'm now trying to hustle like crazy to see if I can catch him. We're like 2 laps out. And then I come round again. I'm chasing him down, back marker's in there again, and then the car dies again, and then he comes back again, and then I crash, everybody crashes, the back markers crash, and then am I going to drop into third? And I managed to just about hold second on that last corner. So yeah, even though the car is intermittently failing, and look at those last times, 20 and 21.
That was carnage. That was carnage.
So close, yes, so close. Could have actually won the B final on my first ever outing. Yeah, not quite sure what's going on. Doesn't seem to be the steering, it's drive. I'm losing drive and it's coming in. It's doing one of 3 things. 1, it's running fine. 2, it's running okay but slow. And 3, it's actually cutting out drive altogether. But I don't seem to be losing the servo. Now, there might be some logs on the ESC, so I'm going to check. But it could be one of a few things. 1, I've got a loose connection somewhere. 2, I've got some kind of throttling issue where the ESC is thinking it's too hot or something like that, and it's trying to throttle it down. But the car doesn't run hot. I can touch the motor. It's not cooking or anything like that. So that's something we're going to have to dive into. But all in all, I'm going to take that as a massive positive that even though I'd never run the car before, it's set up basically as per the setup sheet that I worked to. Now, there is some other things I want to do. I want to soften the front a little bit, see if that helps. As well as we've got tons of upgrades to put in it. Definitely feels like it needs more power, more oomph, more punch. So we're going to work on that, as well as a little bit more brake maybe, and to see whether it can go a little bit faster. There's definitely way more in this car, as well as hopefully my skills are going to improve. Driving this one is great fun. You can lean on it so much more than the vintage ones. There is a massive difference between the two, and I do enjoy driving it. So there is another video to come when we go racing again soon. So we've got to do updates, and then we can take it racing again and see if we can improve, snatch that win in the B final, and who knows, maybe one day we might squeeze into the A final. So stay tuned. Thanks very much for watching. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.